I'm joined here by Magmo and D in Bobinga, and together we are going to show you today what does it mean to have a wet sound in a didgeridoo. Well, I met this term a long time ago and I heard it as the sound was really like wet, there is water inside the tube. And I know that other players noticed it. I remember one discussion at the Didgeridoo 20 years ago between Andrei Smekel and Michiel Teichele, where Andrei was expressing that he likes that wet sound, when a didge has a wet sound, and I do as well. And Michiel, who is a trad player, he expressed that he likes the dry sound. Well, let's see what that means. First of all, one way where you can notice where the wetness of sound is when you start and stop the sound. There will be a sustain. Of course, in air code you can notice that even more. Wet didges will have more of air code, more of sustain. So sustain is part of the wetness. And this is good to know because that means that you have to start and stop your sound relatively often if you want to express that quality, if you want to play your music using that quality. And it's good to know that also beginning of the sound is usually very beautiful. If you play it beautifully, because it creates transients in the beginning of the sound, you will hear those lips open up. So by starting and stopping the sound, you're adding both qualities of the attack, the transients, and the sustain. However, that wet quality is not contained only in the beginning and the end of the sound, and especially the end. It's also how the harmonics are, and the whole sense of the sound is usually very round. So it is expressed both in the harmonics domain, so as well as the wobbles, which are repetitive harmonic patterns. Or in the articulations, if you use that tongue slap, which produces with a beaver tail embouchure, with a thick, strong embouchure, tightly pressed, you will get this froggy sound. And there you will also have a strong sense of this wet slap. Now, there are relatively many didges which have wet quality. These would be all the didges which have a very wide bore. Or most, not all, most. However, these didgeridoos have a problem that they cannot sculpt well. They cannot make detail. You cannot play them fast and put a phrase to that. You know, you cannot cut that bass and continue it right away. That sound that usually doesn't have muscles, and these muscles, they don't have striations and no veins, so you can't do any antique kind of sculpture on your didgeridoo. Anything that has detailed and that is relatively fast. But Magmo can, and it can be wet and well formed at the same time, and this is part of its magic. And this Bobinga here that holds that air perfectly for me to sculpt it is a great friend and a great companion in my didgeridoo journey. So this is one way that you can feel the wetness.
Check out our Duende Didgeridoo web shop and spiral out, keep digging.